And today, Samsung finally released their Apple TV app. This is the first time that Apple TV is available on any device other than an Apple device. So I want to take a look at it. As you can see, we are on firmware 1251, and this is the Samsung Q8F9. This app is supposed to be available on all Samsung 2018 and 2019 televisions. I'm not sure if they're on the non-QLED series, but let's take a look at the app. As you see, it loads up pretty fast. It's got Watch Now. This is where I was going through it earlier to kind of take a look at it. And we got movies. This is where you could actually go into the iTunes store. You could actually purchase movies from here. You could rent movies. Let's see. Deals a week, 99-cent rental. You just click on it, it'll go into the film, and you could go ahead and rent it for 99 cents. Now, a downfall of this is, of course, it's right through the TV app, meaning that you are not going to get that Atmos or DTS:X sound. Apple TV, or actually that I'm aware, no streaming service does the DTS:X, but you will be missing that Atmos that if you had your Apple TV directly connected to your soundbar, you'd be getting that Atmos sound. It does support the full 4K and HDR as long as your TV supports it. Another thing is, it doesn't look, when you go to your movies, which you go to the library, it does not have that same layout that you're accustomed to with Apple TV, you know, where it kind of is almost like a Blu-ray, where you get the menu right there, you get to play the extra features. It's just the movie. Let's go in here, for example, just so you could see. It just loads and it'll play the movie. Now, another downfall I'm noticing, unless, you know, I'm not hitting the right buttons, is you cannot find the info. You could hit up on your Samsung remote. Nope, down. And you could look at the audio, subtitles, but it doesn't give you the info showing you what format the film is playing in. We like to make sure that it's playing in 4K HDR. I mean, you can check on your TV to verify the HDR just by going over into the settings. You can see HDR is enabled. But as far as on the film itself, through the Apple TV app, the only way is by hitting the back button and then seeing that it says 4K HDR down at the bottom. All right, now let's go back. There's the Watch Now. This is really where Apple decided to release this outside the Apple TV, is because they're really going to build up their TV section. Right now, like if you go to Watch Now, it's just, there are few channels. You know, the typical HBO, Showtime, Star, Cinemax, you know, a couple extras, but nothing too much. Also, what I've noticed, because I am an HBO subscriber, is it only shows up if you subscribe through Apple. So now I'm an HBO subscriber, but I am not able to watch HBO through this Apple TV app. Another downfall is you're not getting the app store that you get with the Apple TV. I can't watch other apps. Like I can't go through Netflix, Hulu, DirecTV Now through this Apple TV app. It's strictly mainly just for giving you your iTunes library and to promote their upcoming Apple TV service, because they are going to add a lot more channels, some original content, and that's why they've decided to release this outside the Apple TV. The library is also not as nice as it would be on the Apple TV. You see we got recents, TV shows, movies. Apple TV, you get categories, so you can kind of filter out this list. Also, as far as the 4K upgrade, where they upgrade your old HD films to 4K, it's going to be the same as what you get on the Apple TV. So like me, when I got an Apple TV, I thought I was getting 17 movies upgraded. I was aware Disney films were not going to be upgraded, so that's not counting those. I still thought I had 17 from my account. I ended up only with 2. Now I know Apple, there's some stuff out there that says if you redeem your code through Apple, that they will upgrade that to 4K. From my experience, that is not true, and that's even talking to an Apple representative on the phone, because I had a bunch of them that, all my earlier movies were always purchased, disc and then using a digital code and through iTunes. So it's not like I used a different service and then it ended up in iTunes through Movies Anywhere. That is the case now with a lot of films, but those are bought 4K anyways. What I was hoping for with some of these older films, like The Amazing Spider-Man, Captain Phillips, The Dark Knight Rises, Despicable Me, a lot of these films that are now in 4K on iTunes and are in my library are not coming up 4K in mine. And I even called them, and like I said, they just said that you had to purchase it through iTunes, not with a digital code. So I know there's some confusion there, but however, as far as this goes, like I think it's a pretty nice addition. It's a free app, so you can't really complain. Is it a replacement for an Apple TV? If you like the Apple TV, absolutely not. The Apple TV runs smoother. I mean, this is very responsive, but as far as just the options, you're not getting that. This is strictly just like the TV side of the Apple TV device, with the promoting of their channels that they're going to be adding and original content. Will I use it? Probably not until they add their own content. And if I do not own an Apple TV currently. I actually did buy one, like I said. I do think it's the best streaming device. The remote was absolutely horrendous. Trying to search something on YouTube took like 6 hours compared to the Fire TV, where I could just type everything in seconds. But the quality is a tick above the Fire TV. I do like the app layout. I like that it supports Dolby Atmos and HDR through pretty much everything that supports it. Netflix, Vudu, etc., the iTunes itself. So if the Apple TV was a bit cheaper, I would have kept it, but at $200, expecting to have 17 films upgraded and only 2 of them upgraded, it wasn't worth it in my book. I like that you get the Atmos through the soundbar that way, but I get the same thing with the Xbox. Xbox has everything other than iTunes. If I want Vudu, 4K, Atmos, Netflix, I get that through the Xbox. So to summarize this video, because it's already gone on way too long, the app is here. It's a great addition. It's wonderful to get your iTunes library, especially with those 99-cent rentals that you don't get elsewhere outside. You could buy a movie in iTunes, and if it's connected with Movies Anywhere, it would show up in your Amazon, it would show up in Vudu, etc. The 99-cent rentals that they do sometimes, like I know Mission Impossible Fallout is currently one of them, the rentals don't show up in Movies Anywhere, Fire Stick, etc. So if you rented it on iTunes, you'd be stuck with just watching it on your iPad, and no one wants that. Also, it does support the AirPlay now. I didn't go over that at all, but it's seamless. It connects right to your iPad or iPhone if you have one, and it works on there. It goes full screen if you start to watch something like an app like DirecTV Now, Netflix, etc. But again, you're losing out the content or the quality of it without that 4K HDR Atmos. When you're going through AirPlay, it's not as seamless and smooth. So, replacement for the Apple TV, absolutely not. An awesome addition, especially being free. It's wonderful. I highly recommend downloading it. I do believe it just got up today, because I've been keeping an eye out for it, and I did not see it yesterday. I think it might have came out at some point late last night or this morning. Mine just showed up. I didn't even have to go download it. It was right there in the front on the home screen, as you can see right there.